Remember life before smartphones? Yeah, me neither. Technology is everywhere these days. From the moment our alarm clocks, or should I say our phones, blare us awake, to the last Netflix episode we stream before bed, tech is running the show. And hey, that's not always a bad thing. It connects us, informs us, and makes life a whole lot easier. But like that friend who crashes on your couch a little too long, tech can overstay its welcome. It starts snooping where it shouldn't, and before you know it, your rights are out the window faster than you can say, "Alexa, delete my search history." We're talking about human rights, folks. Those fundamental freedoms everyone deserves, no matter what. Things like privacy, freedom of speech, and protection from harm. These rights predate the internet, but that doesn't mean they disappear when we log on. The problem is, technology is evolving faster than the laws meant to keep it in check. This creates a wild west where companies and governments can exploit our data, track our every move, and even manipulate our thoughts and feelings. Now, I'm not here to tell you to chuck your smartphone in the river and live off the grid, but we need to talk about the dark side of technology, the ways it can be used to violate our human rights, because here's the kicker. If we don't understand the problem, we can't fix it. So buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to dive headfirst into the murky waters of tech violations. Remember that time you were thinking about buying a new pair of shoes and suddenly, bam! Ads for those exact shoes were following you around the internet like a lost puppy? Yeah, that's not a coincidence. That, my friends, is the magic of data collection and targeted advertising. It's how companies like Google and Facebook make their billions. They collect your data, everything from your browsing history to your location to your likes and dislikes, and use it to create a scarily accurate profile of you. But here's the thing. This data collection goes way beyond just showing you personalized ads. It can be used to influence your thoughts, your emotions, even your behavior. Think about it. Social media algorithms are designed to keep you scrolling, to keep you engaged, even if that means showing you content that makes you angry, anxious, or depressed. They exploit our deepest fears and insecurities to keep us hooked. And it gets even creepier. We're talking about technologies that can read your brainwaves, track your eye movements, and analyze your facial expressions to determine your emotional state. Imagine a world where your boss knows you're unhappy with your job just by looking at your face, or where advertisers can target you with products based on your subconscious desires. This isn't science fiction, people. This is the reality we're hurtling towards. Remember that warm, fuzzy feeling you get knowing the government is looking out for you? No? Well, get ready for it, because thanks to the wonders of modern technology, Big Brother is watching closer than ever before. We're talking about CCTV cameras on every corner, facial recognition software that can identify you in a crowd, and Stingray devices that intercept your phone calls and track your location. And it's not just about catching criminals. Governments are increasingly using surveillance technologies to monitor and control their citizens, especially those who dare to speak out against the powers that be. Journalists, activists, and political dissidents are being targeted and silenced through invasive surveillance, often under the guise of national security. But hey, at least we're safe from terrorists, right? Well, that's debatable. The effectiveness of mass surveillance in preventing terrorism is highly questionable, but one thing's for sure, it creates a chilling effect on free speech and chills any hope of privacy we might have had. Remember 9/11? Of course you do. It was a horrific tragedy that changed the world forever. And in the aftermath of that tragedy, the US government passed a little something called the Patriot Act. Now, I'm all for patriotism, but this act, well, it's about as patriotic as a bald eagle wearing a Make America Great Again hat. The Patriot Act, in the name of fighting terrorism, gave the government sweeping powers to spy on its own citizens. We're talking about warrantless wiretapping, secret searches of your home and digital devices, and access to your library records, all without you ever knowing. Now, I'm no lawyer, but this sounds an awful lot like a violation of that whole unreasonable searches and seizures thing the Fourth Amendment was supposed to protect us from. The problem is the Patriot Act was sold to the American public as a necessary evil, a small price to pay for security in a post-9/11 world. But here's the thing about trading freedom for security, you often end up with neither. Section 5. Digital dirt when private becomes public. Remember that embarrassing photo you posted on Facebook back in college, the one you thought was gone forever? Think again, my friend. In the digital age, nothing ever truly disappears. Every email you send, every website you visit, every photo you share leaves a digital footprint that can be tracked, traced, and used against you. This is especially concerning in the age of revenge porn, where intimate images and videos are shared online without consent. Victims of this horrific abuse are often shamed, harassed, and even blackmailed, their lives turned upside down with a few clicks of a mouse. And it's not just our private data that's at risk. Hackers are getting more sophisticated by the day, targeting everything from banks to hospitals to government agencies. A single data breach can expose the personal information of millions of people, putting them at risk of identity theft, financial ruin, and even physical harm. Section 6. Tech abuse, more than just sticks and stones. We all know words can hurt, but in the digital age, those words can follow you around forever, amplified by the echo chamber of the internet. Cyberbullying, online harassment, and hate speech are rampant with devastating consequences for victims, but tech abuse goes beyond just words. We're talking about stalking apps that track your every move, spyware that monitors your keystrokes and steals your passwords, and even smart home devices that can be used to control your environment and manipulate you. Imagine a partner using a smart speaker to eavesdrop on your conversations, or a stalker remotely controlling the lights and appliances in your home to intimidate you. This isn't just creepy, it's downright dangerous. Section 7, Law and Order, Online, the struggle for digital justice. So, who's policing this digital Wild West? The short answer is, not enough people. Law enforcement agencies are struggling to keep up with the rapid pace of technological change. They often lack the resources, the expertise, and frankly, the legal framework to effectively investigate and prosecute tech-related crimes. The laws we have are often outdated and inadequate, failing to address the unique challenges of the digital age. And even when laws do exist, enforcing them across borders and jurisdictions can be a nightmare. Take cybercrime, for example. A hacker sitting in a basement in Russia can steal your identity, drain your bank account, and wreak havoc on your life without ever setting foot on American soil. Catching and prosecuting that hacker requires international cooperation, which, let's face it, is about as common as a unicorn riding a dragon. Section 8. Ethical algorithms. Can we teach robots right from wrong? Now, I'm not saying all technology is bad. In fact, it has the potential to do a lot of good in the world. But we need to start thinking about the ethical implications of technology, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence. Algorithms, the sets of rules that govern how AI systems make decisions, are often opaque and biased, reflecting the prejudices of their creators. This can lead to discriminatory outcomes, particularly for marginalized communities. For example, facial recognition software has been shown to be less accurate at identifying people of color, leading to wrongful arrests and other injustices. And AI-powered hiring tools can perpetuate existing biases, screening out qualified candidates based on factors like gender, race, or socioeconomic status. We need to ensure that AI is developed and deployed in a responsible and ethical way, that it respects our human rights and promotes fairness and equality for all. Section 9. Fighting back your rights in a digital world. So, what can we do about all this? Well, the first step is awareness. We need to educate ourselves and others about the ways technology can be used to violate our human rights. We need to demand stronger legal protections, both at the national and international levels. Laws that protect our privacy, our freedom of expression, and our right to be free from harm, both online and offline. We need to hold tech companies accountable for the products they create and the data they collect. We need to demand transparency, fairness, and ethical decision-making. And most importantly, we need to remember that we have a voice. We can vote with our wallets, supporting companies that prioritize our rights. We can contact our elected officials and demand change. We can raise awareness on social media and in our communities. The future of our digital world is not predetermined. It's up to us to shape it. Let's make sure it's a future where technology empowers us, not controls us. A future where our human rights are respected, both online and offline. Because in the words of the great bard, William Shakespeare, though she be but little, she is fierce. And by she, I mean our collective fight for digital justice.